On this show, we'll be covering WWE NXT and AEW Rampage. Stay tuned. Roll intro. Hello and welcome back to HCW Show Squared. This is episode 3. I'm Dan, DP or DWZ. And before we get started, just want to basically just say thank you for any support and all the support basically we get on the channel, whether it's just through watching, interactions, clicks, whatever it is, everything is appreciated. But that said, if there's anything you want to see, anything particularly you want covered, or anything you want an opinion on, leave it in the comments and I'll see what I can do. But in the meanwhile, follow us on our social medias, which is above my head over there. I'm getting used to this still. That way. We have our Twitch, we have our Instagram, we have our Threads, Twitter, and our Facebook. And my individuals there. But yeah, every follow is appreciated, and we're on our way to getting 50 on Twitch. So that is fantastic news as well. But yeah, as I said, I'm Dan DP, and let's get rolling. So, kick things off with NXT for the 15th of August. We are 1 week away from Heatwave, so let's see how they do. Kick things off with the WWE NXT Tag Team Championships. The family, Channing Lorenzo and Tony D'Angelo, taking on the Dyad, Jagger Reed and Rick Fowler. The family retain after D'Angelo hits a belly back slam for the pinfall. I rated it 3 stars. It was a decent tag opener. It established the family as a developer team, and they'll only get better with each defense match. Meanwhile, the Schism don't really need titles, in my opinion. They're constant, so they don't really need it. But I'm okay with them losing here, so that's fine. Ivy Nile caused a distraction towards the end, which allowed two Schism, masked members to attack the Dyad, which would allow the Dyad to lose, the family to win. So it might have been the Creed Brothers. It probably was the Creed Brothers. We don't know for certain, but it probably was them. But yeah, 3 stars. We go on to a vignette. Eddie Thorpe dances in the wilderness to get more in sync with his fighting spirit. He's ready to fight, and he wants to fight Dijak again. Until then, we'll see you on Level Up. Backstage, Carmelo Hayes is signing autographs when he's interrupted by Wes Lee, who says that he'll be #1 contender soon enough. Cool. This felt kind of pointless, but I get what they're going for, I suppose. So we remain backstage. We find out that Andre Chase has arranged for Thea Hale to fight JCJ later on, to get her back on winning ways, to get her back on the right track. However, Thea finds out and doesn't approve of this, controlling her, controlling who she faces, etc. Duke Hudson is there as well, and he plays both sides as well. He's like, yeah, Chase, yeah, no, I agree. And then when Thea comes in, he's like, actually, yeah, Chase, what were you doing, man? And basically Thea says, I'll do it, but don't throw in the towel this time. So we're still building that tension between them all. I'm all for it. I like these these corny little stories. I like that. I like it. We move on to a match. We have Blair Davenport taking on Dana Brooke, who is with Kalani Jordan. Blair wins following 2 knees directly to the face. 1 3/4 stars I rated this. They're trying to establish Dana as some kind of veteran or in a veteran role for Kalani. Dana's not the right person for that. Like, if you considered her less than a desirable run on the main roster, she's not the right person for that sort of role. But that's what they're doing. I'm glad Blair won, but Blair needs to do something else. Fight anyone else. She deserves more than this, really. I get that it's developmental and everything, but Dana Brooke is not the right person for this. But yeah, they built some more tension between Kalani and Dana. But other than that, they just need to get the match out of the way. Backstage, Carmelo Hayes is still signing autographs. When he's now into my Dijak. Carmelo says there's not going to be a heat wave yet, and Dijak agrees, but for now, and then leaves. Cool. We go to the ring. Drew Gulak taking on Trick Williams. Trick wins with a spinning kick to the face of Gulak. 2 stars. This was basically a squash match with a tiny bit of offense from Gulak. Did a poor job, in my opinion, of establishing Trick as a credible threat to Ilya. But speaking honestly, would there be any amount of work you could do to make Trick look like a threat? Gulak is a good worker. He's a great worker, in fact, for this kind of thing. But I wouldn't mind some more back and forth, and Gulak actually getting some hits in. We get an interview backstage with Baron Corbin. Corbin's on his way to the ring. Vignette. Dabba-Kato is coming back soon. Really? This guy, Commander Aziz, the Dabba-Kato, the Raw Underground guy. He's coming back, I guess. Great. So we go back in the ring with Baron Corbin. Corbin promises that Gable Steveson is coming back. So that's great news. He calls everyone soft ass little bitches, and that he's ushering in a new era, not of NXT or WWE, a new era of Baron Corbin. He believes he belongs in the main event. Speaking of main event, he interacted with Von Wagner and Mr. Stone. Corbin goes in on Wagner. It was surprisingly really good for Corbin. I didn't think Corbin had it in him, but no, he goes in properly on Wagner, and then Wagner says, "Oh, he's tired of Corbin." Then changes to a fight that's been a heat wave, and that he's gonna table Corbin or say, "Corbin, your ass is gonna get tabled." Cool. Okay, move on. Cool. Backstage, Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio are in the locker room, flirting a little. They then challenge Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria to a mixed tag match next week at Heatwave. We get a vignette. Mustafa Ali hosts a political rally type scenario where he talks about how the North American title has been dragged through the mud and how it's a prestigious title that's lost all its prestige. He talks about how he should be the champion and then asking the continent of North America to support him in his efforts. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't remember the reports entirely. Is this the same gimmick that Vince turned down Ali wanted to do with the Intercontinental title? Resulting in his wanting to leave WWE last year or 2 years ago. It wasn't bad by any means, so I'm glad he's getting us to do it now. But I'm curious as to why they didn't run it before, because this based off 1 week of seeing it, it's alright. It's alright for now, but we'll see what happens. So we move on to the match that probably everyone was looking forward to for this show. We have Wes Lee and Dijak. This was an NXT title number 1 contenders match, and the winner will fight Carmelo next week at Heatwave. Lee wins with a cardiac kick and the spiral tap to become number 1 contender. So we're getting Wes Lee and Carmelo Hayes next week. I rated this 3.5 stars. It's the match of the night. Dijak selling of his leg, Wes selling of the arm. It was perfect. They didn't they didn't conveniently forget they had an injured arm or injured leg, and they both sold it really well and couldn't even hit some of their moves because of it. The consistency of selling was a key selling point for me. Dijak didn't need to win here, and he could continue being himself and his on and off run with Eddie Thorpe, I guess. Meanwhile, the main thing for NXT in general is going to be between Carmelo and Wes. So good stuff all around. Backstage, Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria are backstage. They realise that they don't have the same tag chemistry as Rhea and Dominic, and they look to work on that before next week. And they exchange pleasantries, like saying they're going to get tacos or something like that. Backstage we remain. We have an interview with Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate is ready to fight Joe Coffey following some kind of incident at NXT Live on last Friday. So not the Friday just passed as when I'm recording this, the Friday before that. We get a vignette. Ilya Dragunov promises that Trick Williams' fantasy will not become reality, and that he is ready for Trick next week. Trick's gonna die. Trick's gonna die. Trick's gonna die. So we have a match next. Tyler Bate takes on Joe Coffey. Tyler Bate wins by a DQ, and fucking Dabba Kato returns to attack Tyler. Online, you'll read it's a no contest. He attacked Tyler first, and the bell went before he attacked Joe. So it's DQ, Bate. 2 stars. The match was only about 4 minutes, and these two had about as much as a match you would expect from these two with such a short time allotment. Dabba Kato's return is something that happened. I understand that he's a big guy, and they're trying to make him look like a monster again, but this is the same guy who lost to both Axiom and Scripps. Repackaging might be the right call for me, rather than him trying the same thing over and over and expecting the same result. That's called insanity. Backstage, Corbin is in the dreaded parking lot when he's confronted by Bron Breakker. Bron wants to fight Wagner, and then Corbin says, "No, I'm fighting Wagner." And then he wishes Corbin luck and lets him know that he'll be watching. And then Corbin says basically he isn't intimidated by Bron like everyone else. We move on to a podcast first. We get to cover an edition of Hard Hitting Home Truths with Nathan Frazier. This is the first version. This is the first edition that I'm covering of this. Basically, Nathan hypes up his defense of the Heritage Cup against Noam Dar. Noam Dar and Metaphor then interrupt, who are live from the moon to turn this into Supernova sessions. There's a bit of back and forth, but the main takeaway from this is Nathan was given a button, a big red button, that when he presses it, the word fraud appears on Metaphor's feed. It's pressed a fair bit. And that's about it, really. So for your main event, which I was surprised by, but your main event, JC Jane takes on Thea Hale. JC wins with a small package, following a interruption from Andre Chase. I rated 2.25 stars. These two got about 8 minutes-ish, and even then it was a sort of weak match. It served no real purpose other than to further the Chase U story and the tension. I do wish that JC was doing more. Her and GG, the split from the whole Toxic Attraction thing was meant to be something that benefited everyone involved, and it feels like JC and GG aren't doing much. They had that weaponized steel cage thing, but other than that, they've not really done much. I guess the focus right now for the women's division is Thea Hale with Chase U, I guess. I don't really know what else they're doing. Vignette. We get some more stuff from Humberto and Angel. Did you know their father was called Humberto Garza? Never knew that. But that's why I called Humberto and Angel Garza. So a bunch of voice clips play over footage of them as kids, them training, they're fighting, because I think they're brothers or cousins or something like that. And then they're both awakened from the same dream in their different homes. So they're going to reconcile and be a tag team again. We'll see what happens, I guess. Oh, there we go. Here we go. So we get another vignette. Where is it? There it is. Tiffany Stratton, the women's champion, is going to be on NXT next week at Heatwave. Cool. I mean, it would be good to have a defense, but oh well. We go backstage again. Carmelo is still signing autographs when Wes Lee appears with a contract, this time that he won that he won for beating Dijak. He then just breaks the table that Carmelo signed stuff on, and then he says he'll see Carmelo out in the ring, bringing the actual table that he broke with him. So we move on to the final bit of the show, which was an impromptu contract signing. Carmelo isn't convinced that Wes can be him. Lee talks about Carmelo was being hand chosen for success, and now he's had to overcome adversity and overcome a lot of challenges to get where he is now. Carmelo says that he won't, so that Wes can't beat Carmelo. Wes continues to say that he'll prove doubt as wrong, and he signs the contract before handing it over to Carmelo. Carmelo starts quoting Waterfalls song, I think it might be TLC, I'm not too sure. But he says, don't go chasing waterfalls, stick to the rivers and brooks that you're used to. Something like that. Yeah. Next week it won't be Melo won't miss, it'll be Melo can't miss. He holds the up in the air, and then Wes leaps onto the table, breaking it, and then a stare down to end the show. Overall, this was a good show. Obviously, developmental. I'll probably keep saying this every week, but developmental brand, you're not going to have perfect matches. It happens. But yeah, not much I can say about that really. But yeah, good show. We couldn't do much. It was a lead up match to Heatwave next week. So yeah, next week we'll be covering Heatwave. Cool. Moving on, we go on to AEW Rampage for the 18th of August. Kick things off with Ray Phoenix and Commander. Ray Phoenix wins with spinning muscle buster. I rated it 3.25 stars. It was a fun opener, everything was everywhere, but that's not my kind of match. It wasn't brilliant to me, it was just a lot of flips and a lot of all over the place. However, if you like flips and you like overall chaos in your matches, then this is absolutely a match for you. It might even be a 5-star thing. Making matches for the sake of it is not usually a bad thing, but this match without any kind of reasoning for it to happen, other than it just could happen. I liked it, but just not as much as others. That's all. We go backstage. We got an interview with Britt Baker. Britt mentioned she was in the first All In. She was the first female signed to AEW. How she was in that first women's fatal 4-way 5 years ago at All In, and how she's helped form the current state of the AEW women's division. She wants to win the women's title for the second time, and that's all. We get a vignette. Johnny TV comes out of a convertible to congratulate QT Marshall on winning his match at AAA. Apparently it was for a title. Hang on a sec. Okay, so apparently after doing a quick internet search, QT Marshall did in fact win the AAA title called the Latin American Championship. He beat Pentagon Jr., Dralistico, and Texano Jr. in a fatal 4-way. Good for him. Anyway, moving on. We have a match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Challengers Ethan Page and Zion Cassidy, or called Brother Zay nowadays, takes on the champions Aussie Open, Carl Fletcher and Mark Davis. As you would expect, being so close to All In, Aussie Open win after the Coriolis. I rated it 2.25 stars. It was a very predictable match and was kind of just there. Didn't really do anything except bolster Aussie Open's record. Like, I'm all for them getting more and more wins, but I prefer it if the opponents were actually credible threats, you know, like actual presumable threats to them. But for now, I guess we just have to look forward to 0 Hour. We get a vignette. The Righteous are in AW now, and they're setting their sights on anyone who's anyone. So this is Vinny Marseglia, some guy called Dutch, I don't know who he is, and apparently they recruited Stu Grayson to their ranks. So that is a new thing coming, I guess. Backstage, the Hardys are here, and they're challenging Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor Tag titles on next Friday's Rampage. There was no actual answer confirmation on that, so we'll see. Sammy Guevara takes on John Cruz. Sammy Guevara wins with a go to hell. 1 star. It wasn't a lot to work with. It was like over a minute, like just over a minute. Basically, it's a match. That's it. A vignette. Nyla Rose seems to have ditched Vicky Guerrero, which is always a good thing. And is seemingly having some kind of resurgence. Who knows, to be honest. She just talks about a lot about how she's going to redeem herself and how she's going to, like come back to her winning ways. But now we move on. It's time for the main event. We have the Outcasts, Tony Storm and Ruby Soho, taking on Sky Blue and Hikaru Shida. I wonder if those comments are by Lufisto has prompted this, because that's Rampage main event women's stuff. Normally, I don't think you normally get that. Anyway, at least for Tony booking, anyway. But yeah, this is the match. The Tony Storm Ruby Soho against Sky Blue and Hikaru Shida. Shida and Blue get the win after Shida jackknife pins Soho. I rated 2.5 star. This was an all-out tag match, nothing to shout about, but it was fine. The idea of the Outcasts is getting a bit stale for me. Thankfully, they did showcase a little bit of tension between Tony and Saraya, but only time will tell. That's just a one-off thing, and black it all in and all that. A pull apart brawl is what ends the show, and that is Rampage. Overall, I thought it was decent. It was fun. It was clearly a one-match show with the opener, which wasn't really for me, but oh well, it happens. In regard to next week's Show Squared, for those who aren't aware, it's All In weekend, probably one of the biggest weekends in the history of pro wrestling in the UK. I'm gonna be at shows on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So the odds of me getting a review out for Rampage is quite unlikely. I might be able to do NXT, but we'll see what happens. There's a chance it might not happen next week. There's also a chance that I just do it next week and do 2 lots of NXT and then 2 lots of Rampage to catch up, but I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. So there's ample warning. You might not see me next Sunday. So I'm going to be at Wembley Stadium watching All In with 80,000+ fans. I'm excited. But no, if you're going to Wembley, if you're going to Rev Pro, if you're going to what did I say? Yeah, if you're going to Wembley, you're going to Rev Pro. If you're going to Riot Cabaret on the Friday, or even to Hooked on Wrestling on the Monday, come by, say hi. Why not? We're all wrestling fans in the day. But yeah, that brings an end to HCW Show Squared. I've been Dan, DP, D to the Breezy. As I said before, everything is up there if you want to follow us, and my individuals down there. But yeah, that's been the show. I will see you next time. Oh shit, it's still on. Are you still here? Why are you doing this every week? You can just leave. I sent it over. You can go. Why do you insist on staying? Are you one of those weirdos who like online and like you sort of like stalk people and all that? Is that what you're doing? Okay, well I'm watching you, okay, because you're acting really weird, and I think it's time for you to go. So go. Leave. Get out. It's the end of you and me. It's too late, and I can't wait for you to be gone. So go. Walk out the door. Don't turn around now, because you're not welcome anymore. It's like that, is it? Okay, go. Fucking leave.